Hi, this is Gary Mintchell, and this is another one of my YouTube travel videos. And this is November the 13th, and I'm in Chicago, and just finished a couple of strenuous days at Pack Expo. In the era of trade shows diminishing, and some of the major trade shows that I used to attend, and in fact, I don't even go to National Manufacturing Week anymore. Uh, ISA is pretty small, but Pack Expo is huge. Now, to me, it's very broad. The packaging people say it's very specific to packaging, but for me, it's a very broad show because it includes technology providers, OEM machine builders, and then there's all kinds of like materials people and different things like that that I don't get into. But at McCormick Place, and if you've been there, it's a big place. They fill up the South Hall, one floor totally, the North Hall floor totally, the East Hall, two floors, and then over in the new West Hall, which I never even got to, there's exhibits over there. Don't know about total exhibitors, but seemed like it was probably at least as many as last time I was there 2 years ago. And I should mention, every 2 years they're in Chicago, and then the off years, quote unquote, they're in Las Vegas. And so this is the big year, and it was big. And I think it was about the same. I didn't see like vacant booths where people pulled out, that sort of thing. Attendee traffic was probably down a little overall, but some of the OEMs I talked to said that something they noticed of people coming through the booth was that, a big company, a big end user company, a consumer packaged goods company, somebody like that, used to bring a senior engineer buyer type person or two, and maybe a bunch of junior engineers to like look around, get acquainted, ask questions, see what machines look like, that sort of thing. And this year they didn't bring the junior staff. And some other people thought that if you were just kind of moderately curious about what was going on, but really not serious about looking at something for a future purchase, the economy probably discouraged them from attending. So, and the reason I say all that is because all the exhibitors I talked to were smiling. They were talking to what, as an exhibitor, I called them real people. They were people that actually did the work. They were interested. They specced out things. They wanted to see what they could buy, what was available to put in their specifications, all that kind of stuff. And so it was influential decision-making kinds of people that were there, and so they were pretty happy. Talked to some OEMs, not enough. I talked to the technology providers, not everyone, but not a lot of trends. I guess the biggest trend, which is just incipient right now, would be that OEMs are starting to look at the value proposition. And I've been in this business, not in packaging and other things, but too often somebody puts out a quote saying, I need a new machine, so you design the cheapest thing because everything is bid on cost. And so if you come in the cheapest, you get the job, and that's a no-win situation for everybody. The end user gets a piece of cheap junk, and regardless of how they try to put the screws to you, and say, well, I know you paid the lowest dollar, but we want the best machine and that sort of stuff. And that's a no-win for everybody. And what some OEMs are starting to do is say, let's look at the new technologies and how can we apply them to a different kind of design into the machine and do things that the users really want to see and use that as a competitive advantage, and then sell to a value proposition. And I started to see some of that, and I've talked to a couple of technology providers and had quite a talk with, one was a confidential one I had a couple of months ago, and don't really want to say who and where that was, but they're looking at a program. And then a long conversation a couple of days ago with Mike Wagner of Rockwell Automation, who is looking at the same thing. How can they partner with their OEM partners to help them in this whole analysis of what can I do to make a better competitive advantage? Among the technology providers, there were a lot of different people there. There were the controls and motion control people, as you would expect in where OEMs that do a lot of that stuff were, and a lot of sensor and networking people were still there too, because this is advanced sensing and advanced network and digital field buses and that sort of thing are going to be one of those value propositions that help OEMs build better machines and help consumer packaged goods people get better machines, maintain them better, keep them longer, and all the things like flexibility, the ability to change over from one to another. And so I heard strategies of different companies who are doing, one of their strategies would be to help change over, their customers change over from one package to another and that sort of thing. Rockwell's big message that you're going to hear, and next week I go to Automation Fair, and so I'll be inundated with Rockwell for the next week. But you're going to hear sustainability from them, and I'll define that more later, but they're talking an awful lot when I met with them about sustainable automation for OEMs and that sort of thing. And I'm still trying to get a handle on how I'm going to define sustainable. But we have an issue coming up of Automation World in March where we'll explore that. Omron has added motion, and they're getting serious. This is a hotly competitive area for technology providers, by the way. The OEM market, I mean, go figure, the automotive market is collapsing. So anyway, Omron has added motion to an already strong sensor line and controller line. Mitsubishi was there showing a number of things. They have really upgraded, actually, their presence. They've always had good products. Let's see, how do we go? Schneider Electric is incorporating ALAL, which was a motion and motion control company, and was bought by Schneider, and they're trying to put all that together now into more of a cohesive Schneider Electric whole, and so they were there showing that. We had B&R Automation, Beckhoff Automation, Wago was there, and now since I'm doing this off the top of my head, I forgot somebody, and I'll be shot, but all those major suppliers are fighting out that OEM thing, and some haven't been in that market, and they're trying to get into it as a way to expand their market, of course. And so this is a really hotly competitive area, and whenever things are hotly competitive, that means innovation is going to happen. Hopefully the OEMs pick on this and do better machines and sell by competitive advantage and innovation rather than let's just see what we can cut out of the machine to make it cheaper and squeak by and just try to get the minimum possible runoff. And then the manufacturing just keeps going down because of that, because we're not innovating. So Pack Expo actually was packed, so to say. It was pretty good, even in attendance. It's not often I go to trade shows. I have to fight my way through aisles, and I did on Tuesday. It's a strange show. It's Sunday through Thursday. Sunday was very light. Monday was pretty good. I showed up Tuesday, and I was there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Tuesday was really full of attendees. So very good. It was a good experience, and thriving right now. So far, so good in this industry. People are still going to eat, eh? So next week it's Automation Fair in Nashville. I'll be at Opryland. Any of these anybody watching this is down there? Hey, say hi. Maybe we can meet up Tuesday night or something and for a drink or something. So anyway, this is Gary Mintchell, Automation World, signing off.